I want to tell you something that I still cannot explain. I am a practical person. I drive this route every week, Interstate 40 westbound, Asheville to Memphis, 6 hours door to door. I know every rest stop, every exit, every mile marker. I have driven this road so many times that my hands turn the wheel before my brain tells them to. I know this road. Which is why I know something is wrong with it. It started at 11:43 p.m. on a Thursday. I had left late, later than I should have, and the highway was empty the way highways get empty after midnight. Not quiet. Empty. The kind of empty where your headlights feel less like light and more like the only thing keeping the darkness from closing in completely. No other cars. No trucks. No lights on the horizon. Just me and 2 lanes of asphalt disappearing into black nothing ahead. I passed mile marker 231 at 11:43 p.m. I know the exact time because I checked my phone when I passed it. I always check my phone at 231 because it's exactly halfway and it means I'm on schedule. 11:43 p.m. Mile marker 231. I kept driving. At 12:19 a.m., 36 minutes later, I passed mile marker 231 again. I told myself I had missed a turn. Taken a loop somehow. Gotten disoriented in the dark. I pulled over, opened Google Maps, typed in my destination. No signal. I had full bars when I left Asheville. I had full bars at mile 231 the first time. Now, nothing. Not one bar. Just that empty signal icon sitting in the corner of my screen like a small white flag of surrender. I pulled back onto the highway and drove faster. Focused. Watching every sign, every exit, every marker. Counting them deliberately. 232, 233. 234. I drove for 40 minutes watching the numbers climb. At 12:58 a.m. I passed mile marker 231. For the 3rd time. There are no other cars on this road. I need you to understand what that means on an interstate highway at 1 a.m. There are always other cars. Trucks especially, long-haul drivers who own the night roads, whose headlights you can see from 2 miles back. I had not seen a single vehicle since before the first time I passed mile 231. No headlights behind me. No tail lights ahead. No evidence that this road exists for anyone except me. I turned the radio on. Static. Every station. That soft, directionless static that means nothing is broadcasting or everything is too far away to reach. I left it on because the silence was worse. At 1:14 a.m. the static changed. A voice came through. Clear. No distortion. A woman's voice, calm and professional, the way GPS voices sound, flat and precise and completely without emotion. She said, "Continue on current route." I turned the radio off. I drove faster. At 1:31 a.m. I saw the other car for the first time. Tail lights. Red. Maybe a quarter mile ahead of me. I felt something release in my chest that I hadn't realized was clenched. Another person, another car, proof that the world still existed beyond my headlights. I accelerated to catch up. The tail lights stayed exactly a quarter mile ahead no matter how fast I drove. I pushed to 90 miles per hour. Quarter mile ahead. I pushed to 100. Quarter mile ahead. Perfectly, impossibly, mathematically consistent. I slowed back to 60. The tail lights slowed to match. Quarter mile. Always quarter mile. As if the distance between us was not a matter of speed but of something else entirely. Something that had decided exactly how close I was allowed to get. At 1:47 a.m. the tail lights turned off. Not pulled over. Not took an exit. Just off. As if the car had simply stopped existing. I passed the spot where they disappeared. Empty road. No car. No skid marks. No evidence that anything had ever been there at all. At 1:52 a.m. I passed mile marker 231. I pulled over. Not because I had a plan. Not because stopping made any logical sense on a highway that apparently had no end. I pulled onto the shoulder and I turned off my engine and I sat in the sudden, complete silence and I tried to think clearly about what was happening to me. I checked the time. 1:54 a.m. I checked my mirrors. Behind me, as far as my tail lights reached, the highway was empty. Normal. Just road and white lane markings and the dark pressing in from both sides. I watched my mirrors for 4 minutes. Then I noticed something. The road behind me was getting shorter. Not dramatically. Not all at once. But the darkness at the edge of my tail lights was closer than it should have been. And then closer. And then closer. As if the highway behind me was being quietly, methodically rolled up like a carpet. Erased. As if the road only existed as far ahead as I needed it to, and the moment I stopped moving forward it began to disappear behind me. I started the engine. I drove. At 4:17 a.m. my headlights hit a sign. Welcome to Memphis. I took the exit. I drove to a gas station. I sat under the fluorescent lights for a very long time, watching other cars pull in and out and feeling the specific relief of a world that had edges again. My phone showed full signal. My GPS showed the route I had driven. Interstate 40 westbound. Asheville to Memphis. 231 miles logged after the halfway point. I had driven 231 miles. After mile marker 231. I drive this route every week. Next Thursday I will get in my car and point it west, and the highway will be there the way it is always there, ordinary, familiar, mine. But I will not check my phone at mile marker 231. I will not turn on the radio. And if I see tail lights a quarter mile ahead that stay a quarter mile ahead no matter how fast I drive, I will pull over. I will turn off my engine. And I will wait for Memphis to find me. Because the one thing I know now, the one thing that 3 months of thinking about this has taught me, is that the highway doesn't go anywhere. It just goes. If you reach exit 231, do not stop. Keep driving. Don't look for the other car. And whatever the radio tells you, don't follow the route. The hallway. Some roads were never meant to end. Subscribe. The next exit is closer than you think.